And moving right on in, we can see we're just about halfway done through our Game 1 draft. Going to be Razor and Ogre Magi leading things off for Cloud9. EG with a Brewmaster pick and a Venomancer as well, so lots of team fight for them. But, yeah, the Ogre Magi, man, just to talk about that briefly, you know, I know a lot of our viewers that watch our Western matches maybe only catch the Eastern matches on VOD, or maybe they skip them entirely. You know, everyone's busy. I have seen more Ogre Magi than I think any other hero over the last week, 10 days or so. The hero is just so good in so many situations, and almost every team, no matter their geographic location, is making use of him now.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if EG decided to snag that up over the Brew for their first position pick. Yeah, again, to echo what you said, the Eastern team, they've been picking it up a lot. Every single team has been first picking it, at least if not overall first pick, the first two. And that's what Cloud9 did here in their first overall 2 picks. Instead, EG goes with a Brewmaster. I think in their mental tier of what to pick, Brewmaster's kind of at the top. Right behind the Jakiro and the Tide. And for good reason, Cloud9 knows that, as they actually banned out those 2 heroes specifically. So nice bans from them. I would not give EG the Jakiro at all. Like, I think that Universe plays it too well. Even if he does get shut down, which we just cast a game with them, he got shut down quite bad against VP Polar in the laning stage, but still was able to make good things happen with that hero, and it just pushes towers so fast. So they ban that out smartly. Next couple picks coming out are the Lycan for Cloud9 and Death Prophet for Evil Geniuses. So I haven't seen them run the Death Prophet in quite some time, but I know it's Artisi's favorite hero, so they'll be fine with that.
Yeah, I think they'll do just fine with the DP. Again, another hero that can fight very effectively early. Cloud9 seems to be going much more with a push and split them up kind of an approach, grabbing the Lycan in 3rd position and now following with a 4th position Nature's Prophet. Really do love the way that Ogre Magi works with Lycan and with Razor, as a matter of fact. But even just one early point into Bloodlust, even if it's not really early, just about the time that either of those heroes really wants to stop farming and get a little bit more involved in fighting and pushing and so on, just one value point can make all the difference. And, of course, 2 very BKB-reliant heroes, at least in the late mid-game, having that persist through the Magic community sure is nice. EG going to be looking to answer back now. They're going to do so with a Witch Doctor. So looking at EG's lineup, they just scream 5-man, run at towers, while Cloud9, I think, is going to be much more akin to just split it up and to take smaller skirmishes.
Yeah, interesting Witch Doctor pickup. I'm not the biggest fan of it. It's not usually thought to be that strong against heroes that have lots of like minions. Lycan's going to have a lot of them, being 2 wolves, 2 necro units. Nature's Prophet's going to have, the 5 treants, and then if he wants to get a necro himself. So casks are going to be pretty ineffective unless they completely isolate just 2 heroes. But again, with a push-up, or with a lineup that wants to probably stick together in the mid-game with, Lycan and Razor with the mech probably, I don't imagine them splitting up and being isolated. So I don't know if I really like the Witch Doctor pickup. We'll have to see how they lane things here. But I'm presuming it's going to be Zion, the Venomancer, and PBD playing the Witch Doctor, so probably not going to see the fastest Ags if that's the case.
Yeah, without a doubt. One thing that stands out on both sides right now is, I don't want to say it's a total lack of crowd control and stun. I mean, EG does have the Brewmaster and his ability to use the Panda aspects to take one hero out with the Storm aspect and, of course, get a stun with the Rock from the Earth aspect. That's nice, and it's reliable so long as the ulti's up. Outside of that, though, they're going to be relying on Cask, which, as good as it can be, is not always as reliable as you would like. And on Cloud9, they really only have the Fire Blast to rely on for any kind of disable, and I guess you can say a Sprout, perhaps, from Nature's Prophet. But I feel like EG is way ahead in that category, and Cloud9 very wisely getting rid of the Faceless Void. It looks like Cloud9's really not worried about it. This is just a very push-oriented lineup, very much wanting to take towers and kill buildings very quickly. And they're going to have a clockwork now from EG. And Universe's clock is legit if you haven't seen it. And he's very much known for heroes a little bit different than that. But if you watch him play it, it's very good most of the time. And it does give them a little bit more initiation, some long-range initiation, and a great hero to pick up against the Lycan in particular.
Yeah, I guess if they snowball, then Clock could be fine. I don't know. I think Cloud9's draft is just better. I like the Visage pickup is actually pretty nice against, believe it or not, the Death Prophet, because once you get stacks up on the Gravekeeper's Cloak or whatever it's called, the passive for Visage, you just get so much armor that Death Prophet's ulti is not going to do anything to him. Right. And then all these heroes are just so tanky, and they all want BKBs too. Like Lycan will want a BKB, Razor will want a BKB, Nature's Prophet can definitely get a BKB if he wants. So, and then the same point kind of stands that I talked about with Witch Doctor for the Clockwork. Like there's a lot of minions and there's a lot of crap that's kind of now actually the Visage Birds to be thrown in the mess. So it's I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan of Clockwork or the Witch Doctor, to be quite frank with you.
Yeah, I think, you know, the general idea is that EG just doesn't want to give heroes like the Lycan, the Nature's Prophet, the Razor, who scale very, very well if they're able to just sit back and farm for a while. And, you know, just as much as it's been nerfed, Tower Gold helping out the entire squad. So I think EG's plan is going to be to just run at them. I mean, whenever their ultis are available, just go make it happen. And they're going to be a handful to deal with, again, with C9 lacking very many dedicated disables especially. So we'll see how the lane phase is going to take shape. And we can see Universe is heading up towards this top lane. Pylai is going to have eyes on him. He does have a ward on him, but unable to make it in on his own. Arteezy was heading up there with him as well. And it looks like they will go ahead and back off down at bottom. Zai and Fear taking a couple of pot shots at the Treant. But early laning phase, what's your prognosis here? How do you think both teams are going to fare?
Well, it's kind of interesting that this boots pickup here for Arteezy doesn't want to get a lot of damage sucked up by the static link. I was looking over here. I'm like, if Fata got boots, that's like a big waste for Arteezy. But fortunately for him, Fata didn't have boots. So I think this is going to be a relatively even mid lane. Bottom lane is there's some what is that, by the way? Like just a horse? Why is there a horse? I don't know.
I'm pretty sure it's out of the Dota Cinema compendium.
Oh, okay.
New emo.
And this is the second Treant kind of fed up here by Bone 7. Not the biggest deal in the world, but I'm sure I will be happy with that. But yeah, bottom lane, it's basically going to be a free farming Panda against a free farming Lycan. The good thing is for C9 is that once Lycan gets his core item, meaning the Vlads, he can just go into the jungle and free up some space for Visage. I've seen them do this a number of times, specifically when Visage is drafted. But one interesting thing to note is they do counter out this ward, nicely done by Pylai, or Owie, I should say, is that the farm priority, at least in the landing phases, went to Pylai. He bought boots first, and Owie bought everything, which is kind of weird thinking, you know, Owie's playing Visage and all.
Well, the lanes are together now. It's going to be Bone 7 trying to get what he can on the Prophet, and they're doing a nice job of trying to hem up these Treants, at least for the moment. In fact, PPD and Zai happy to take a little bit of free experience and gold off of them. And I want to see how they handle Universe here. Universe has the creeps right in front of him, at least for the moment. So he's actually got a few last hits on top of that. He's got one, and he may very well get two here, even though he's getting harassed. He's going to drop the cogs, and that caught EE inside, but he's not going to move. So focusing in on mid instead, this Razor versus Death Prophet matchup should be about a wash, I would think.
Yeah, I think it's pretty even. Like, I've seen Razors just completely dominate Death Prophet. In fact, it's the matchup where I've seen Arteezy play Razor against Death Prophet, just completely destroyed him. But I think Fata is a capable player, and I think it's a relatively even matchup between two great mid players. So I would say that Razor does have an edge, but because Death Prophet bought boots early on, he can't really get full damage sucked up from him. So I think it's, yeah, I agree with you, just a wash. And then bottom, I think it's smart that EG's prioritizing farm on the Panda. I think that's really smart. So we'll have to see how this early blink will affect EG's lineup.
A lot of fun watching the games with the Treants and the supports from EG. I'm not sure if you caught what was going on. It's been relatively quiet, so just kind of watching the supports there. We'll watch top, then come back to that. Universe will find himself a bounty rune, so very nice there. And it looks like a haste picked up by Bone 7. But yeah, Bone 7 was using the Treants to try to force a pull and actually single pull the creep wave on Radiant's side. And yeah, it was just dealt with very well by Zai and PPD. So the equilibrium not where he wants it to be, at least for now. Fear in the meantime doing well CS-wise. He's second in position. He's at 11. And Bone 7 has made his way back with that haste rune, so should be able to stay safe a little bit longer. Speaking of staying safe, Universe could be in trouble. Nah, just going to be hit with an ignite. And Pylai running into the cogs mean no stun on the way.
Yep, and a cast thrown out actually by Zai, but it was just the end of the haste rune for Bone 7. He's going to get a ton of experience. Well, not a ton, but a fair amount of experience here. I thought it was going to be more, actually, but Peter's pulling the next wave, so shouldn't be too bad here for Bone 7. If he gets caught in a clap, though, oh god, that was very close. Fear with boots almost got him. Early sub 3-minute medallion here for Eternal Envy, so it's not going to be a Vlad's rush.
Envy, pretty good at hitting creeps, and when he's given this much space, he will take advantage. He's at 19 CS at 3 minutes, make it an even 20, so certainly in Very nice shape. Universe is getting close to level 3, however. Taking a look at Bone 7, he's actually about a level ahead of Universe. So C9 doing quite well in both lanes and in mid. Now we can see their Razors right on par with the Death Prophet as we expected. Basically a wash.
Yep, pretty much everything we expected. Yeah, Bone 7 doing pretty well. They're doing a good job of really kind of pressuring Universe. Like, even though he's got level 3 right now, he's not got any CS. Like, Envy's just kind of right in his face. I think that actually Lycan's a good hero in this lane against him because you can never, I've said this before actually last night when we were casting the Eastern teams, they had a similar matchup, and you can never really threaten the Lycan with a kill with Clockwork because he can just pop his wolves. If you don't get mana burned, then you will never get the damage off with a battery assault. So I think Cloud9's in a fantastic position right now, and I think that EG is going to have to make something happen with this Blink on Fear.
Zai finds himself a double damager, and despite the Wolves being in position down near it to spot it, the bounty was taken by the Razor in the meantime. And let's see if Zai wants to try to do something now that he's got the cover of Night to work with. We do have Bone 7 right on top of Fata, so there and willing to protect. Looks like Zai is going to take his time, not in any kind of a rush. And he is level 3. He still hasn't placed his 3rd point, though. Has 2 and 2 cask as we speak. And I want to see when C9 really wants to begin pressuring this tower. I mean, obviously with the Lycan, they're going to be able to take the tier 1 quick. Then you do risk giving a little bit too much to Universe, but they really have great supports in terms of roaming and pressuring elsewhere on the map. And getting Visage to a quick level 6, which will be a lot easier if he's not sitting and just relying on pull experience. Certainly a big deal to them as well. What do you think?
Sorry, say that one more time. I was watching mid. Forgive me.
No, just talking about whenever they're going to want to begin to push a little bit.
Oh, for EG?
No, for C9. Oh, for the ability to take the tier 1 quickly if and when they choose.
You would think, like, with a Lycan, they can do it very, very quickly, but I feel like it's more beneficial and just more, like, it's better use of your resources by just not pushing that lane too fast, and then sending Lycan into the jungle. But at the very least, if they do push it, they need to bring the lane back immediately because they don't want to keep a free lane to Clockwork. I've seen more times than not, though, them just actually forego the pushing of the lane and just give the safe lane to one of their supports like Aoi. So I don't think they're under pressure, honestly, to push towers too much. And also with the change not too long ago with the recent patch, I don't think tower pushing really gives you that much gold anymore. So it doesn't really warrant, like, you know, the stress of trying to push early.
Right. Well, for right now, both teams seem very calm at 6 minutes. Not a single, even remotely close attempt at first blood. Going to be a little bit of action here at the rune. Pylai die, level 3. We'll go ahead and throw an Ignite, but Universe will find himself a rune. However, could be in trouble now. We're going to see Arteezy use his ulti. There's a Crypt Swarm that caught too. Phaeton has to head to the high ground. He's going to end up dying, though. In the meantime, look who made it out. Universe making it out with a very quick TP. Arteezy, right place, right time to help his boy out, and he's not done. Still chasing down Pylai die. Next to the Radiant side secret shop, there will be a quick pause, and gotta love that in the middle of a very exciting sequence. At the on the other side of this, by the way, EG is now pressuring the tier 1 bottom as well in response to Sama hitting the tier 1 top, and it looks like we just need a quick reconnect and we'll be back underway.
Yeah, and the scary thing about this push is that no one can really come down here and stop it because they're just going to die to a panda split. If they want to actually like commit heroes to stopping this, they need like 2 TPs, maybe even 3 TPs. But that's a big waste of resources, I think. So they will probably just lose this tower. Once EG backs off, they'll send someone down here to the tier 2 to soak up the experience. But yeah, a lot of damage coming out from those ghosts, and that's because if you look at Arteezy's build, he's got 1 in his ult, 4 in Witchcraft, and only 2 in his nuke. Yep. And so that ulti actually did a lot more damage than one would expect.
We're back underway, and Envy and Pylai Die got to continue to run. Arteezy will come clear this lane out for them. He's staying right on it. He's not even remotely worried about that. Yeah, he's going to get this kill. 1 auto attack, and like you said, Witchcraft making his ult not only strong, but his movement speed, his ability to pursue through the roof, and he's going to be able to take a lot of experience here, a lot of gold. Glyph has been deployed as C9 wants to defend bottom. Now we're going to see a cast on out on an AUI. Fears there with the follow-up clack. Doesn't even need a split. And C9 just being pulled across this map, and EG exploiting them. Tier 1's going to drop for free, and that's going to be after 6 minutes of quiet, 60 seconds of all evil geniuses as they build themselves the first big lead of the game.
Yeah, there's no business in trying to defend that with one or more, or sorry, 1 or less, 2 or less heroes. They need at least 2, maybe 3. And you can't just kind of straggle in there and expect to not get jumped when there's a Brewmaster there. He didn't even need to use a split, too. So he's about 300 gold, 400 gold away from his blink. And Ichi's in a fantastic position now after the great rotations from Arteezy. He's actually made his way up top, and then letting Universe soak up some experience in mid.
Look how aggressive Fear is playing, even though he doesn't have the mana for his split. Playing a third mana for the moment. But PPD coming up on level 5. The experience on their support's in great shape. Zaya's going to get this sucked back again, as he's going to go ahead and pull now. And treads are now done on the Prophet. He needs to get in gear, though. And, you know, this is kind of what I was worried about for C9. In terms of just, you know, two teams running at each other, it's going to be EG's advantage for a while. C9, though, as good as they are at splitting the map and at splitting the attention of enemy teams, I think they're going to be fine. But they can't find themselves in situations where they're reacting on even terms, I don't think. At least not for now. They're going to end up really hurting until they get a few core items up on these heroes.
I'm wondering why Envy decided to go for the medallion over the Vlad's Rush. Like like I guess it does more damage to single target someone out with the stun, but I think Vlad's is just so much more beneficial and so like it's a better resource item. You can go into the jungle easier or faster. You can do more damage. You sustain yourself with both mana, regen, armor, and all that jazz. I don't know. I think it's kind of an interesting idea here. I mean, he's going to probably buy it now anyway, and he didn't do anything with the medallion, so it just kind of was a waste. I mean, it's still going to be good when they decide to go for Roshan, but I just thought that was really weird.
Use it on the Death Prophet and then watched the Ogre die.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
But Arteezy has his ult available again. In the meantime, at top, looks like C9 ready to take this tower now. This tower's been relatively untouched, and they do have a glyph. So they're not going to have any problem reacting to this. It's going to be PPD heading his way up, and he's going to get a lot of experience off of this creep wave as well. So he's going to be very close to 6, if not at 6 soon. There's the Vlad's done for Envy, as you had mentioned. Caught by the Centaur stun in the meantime. AUI is getting close to 6 as well, so that's nice, as is Bone 7. So those two heroes being able to get the birds out and around, and of course just having a Prophet ulti, no matter where he is on the map, if he does skill it at 6, is going to be a big boon just in terms of their actual damage output in smaller skirmishes all the way up to 5-man fights. Fear found himself an invis and is TP'd into mid, and he's going to wait and try to catch anyone coming into this mid lane. Veta trying to block. Fear in the meantime moving up to the high ground. He's going to be right next to Bone 7. Walked right past him. Don't think he saw him. And there's a ping. Let's see who is pinging that. I didn't even see. It was Peter. It was PPD that pinged it. Fear now in position. Has his blink put on cooldown. Has to wait. Arteezy zoning the Razor out. No reactions coming from anywhere else on the map, at least as of now, as of right now. But Arteezy can't tank the tower shots on his own. Double damage will be picked up. And now they're going to get eyes on Bone 7. He's going to go ahead and TP away right in Fear's face. In the meantime, Pile I Die makes for tier 2. Universe is level 6 now, and Visage actually finds himself a kill down at bottom. So Bone 7 not only TPing out, but TPing down to bottom to secure a kill. And that's going to be C9's first. But Arteezy really didn't get anything done with that ulti, so well played by C9.
Yeah, it was. I don't know if he revealed himself with the invis or it just wore off, but at the very least, nice restraint from Fear. He could have easily just canceled his blink and clapped nothing. Could have easily just wasted his mana on the Furion that TP'd bottom, but Owie, I'm surprised that he actually had birds for that gank. Yeah, I mean, he had a really bad start. He died as the rotated bottom and tried to save the tower, but now he's almost level 7 with the birds up, and he's also going for his own medallion, by the way. I wonder if there's some miscommunication right there, but yeah, maybe he'll turn that into a mech and then like a Ring of Basilius or something.
PPD and Universe smoking in the mid now. Universe, as mentioned, is level 6, near level 7, so he's got a hook on the ready. Let's see if they want to turn on this Razor, if they want to keep walking. Looks like they want to keep walking. Down at bottom, the birds stay alive, unable to catch up with them. Checking the Roche pit to make sure Envy isn't in there or going to be heading in there. Universe might take a shot here, and he will. Connects on the Feitai in mid under his own tier 1. Arteezy's there, doesn't have this ulti for a while, but they're not going to need it. Reaction wasn't coming. Thought we might see 1 or 2 TPs in. Doesn't matter. Good kill onto the Razor, and he's beginning to suffer quite a bit. He's down near the middle of the pack in terms of overall net worth.
Yep, Fear's camping out this bottom rune. I'm wondering if he goes for what kind of boots he goes. Arcanes would be nice for his team. They could all benefit from it, actually. Zaya's going to pump through a lot of mana. Didn't go for Arcanes himself. So he picks up a bounty rune. Not buying boots just yet. But I am curious to see if he does go for it. I think it would be very beneficial for
Up at top, we're going to see PPD come in to try to help that tower. It's going to be Arteezy TP's in, gets caught by a fire blast. In the meantime, EE right on top of Peter with the help of a Prophet ulti, able to run him down. Now he's going to get eyes on Zai. Doesn't look like he wants to overcommit, though. Had some help in mid and AUI and Fata. But that was actually a little odd from PPD. TP'd into a real bad situation, didn't get the deny, and then ended up dying. I think RTC came in kind of at last minute and just wasn't able to do anything to help.
And Universe was so close to canceling that TP there from the Ogre. Just right on the edge of his cogs, just a millisecond before, or millisecond after, I should say. Fata mid. Oh my god, I'm looking at the last hits because I usually keep this chart up for a lot longer than I probably should, but Envy's up to 120 CS at 13 minutes. That's very, very good. I know a lot of them have been neutrals, and yeah, it is going to be a second medallion here for the Visage, so interesting stuff there.
One's good, two's better, right? That's what they tell me.
I suppose.
And yeah, 126 CS, not bad for Envy. His farm is so large it has smaller farms orbiting it. Like, that's the kind of player he is. And there's going to be Bone 7 caught. Cass got the bounce they needed, and the ulting from Zai secures the kill. So a little bit of bad luck there as Zai threw that. And did manage to get the bounce that he needed to keep the Prophet from TPing out. And I actually feel like C9's in good position here. They gave up quite a bit in one big sequence, right, between 6 and 7 minutes. But now, with Eternal Envy, this farm, 2,700 gold to go on top of his Vlad's medallion. So you're talking BKB soon if he wants to go with that or anything else he happens to choose. The Razor, despite struggling, I mean, he's going to do okay. The Prophet dying is a little bit of a bigger deal. But once the Prophet's up and running, I think they're going to be able to just drag EG all over this map with the push because they kept that tier 1 and mid up for a long time, and RTZ is yet to really do much else. Universe will find Bone 7 with a hook right between tier 1 and tier 2. There's a Sprout to try to help himself. No luck. Universe, even though he started out kind of slow, getting the job done now. That's what, his second kill? No, it's technically his first, but he has 2 assists to go with it.
Yep, his courier, or his life for a courier, was it worth it? I don't think so. Especially when there's a lot of heroes right there soaking up experience for the kill. So unfortunate for their RTZ with a level 2 exorcism this time in mid. I don't imagine he actually gets this tower, and yeah, Envy's actually porting here just for some damage. Fear might actually go on this. Oh, very quick ultimate there from Envy. He suspected something, and he's putting in some damage from RTZ. How much can he do? Not enough.
It's going to be a cast. It's kind of getting spread out, and RTC playing very deep. Might be able to get him with a Crypt Swarm. Nope. Went the wrong way. Now he's going to be caught from behind with a Fire Blast out on his own. Here comes the rest of his team trying to come in from the back. There's going to be a nice ulti from Zai. RTC's still alive, but losing all of his damage to Fata. He's going to be cleaned up with one last right click, and now Zai, heroic as it was, the effort goes fruitless as they end up feeding 2 instead of 1. And that was, again, another kind of weird sequence. It seems like Arteezy just got a little bit too aggressive, and the rest of his team was not ready to dive that deep.
You always have to be mindful of some kind of counter initiation from Furion when he's in the game. Like, it's easy to think, oh, we can go on this, we can dive this, we will outnumber them, I'm much stronger, but you always have to think about the +1 with the Nature's Prophet, and I don't think they really had that in mind. The wraparound with him from Bone 7 was very nice. The casks weren't too effective, like I said, because the wolves were kind of spreading it out a little bit. So it's a very annoying game for Witch Doctor, and hopefully, and oh yeah, it is. I didn't even notice this, but Zai was playing. I thought for sure it was going to be Peter, but yeah, Zai's going to actually get some decent farm though. So when he does get the scepter, it's actually his problems will kind of go away because he doesn't have to worry about getting a perfect cask. He can just get a perfect ultimate, and then it'll do all the work for him.
Heal on the Bone 7 from PPD, but pretty much just desperation. He's going to be right-click down after getting a haste rune. Universe comes back up. Cogs got him, knocked him out of it. And he's going to run on into the Roche Pit, but the birds are now on him. There's going to be a Sprout, and here comes Pylai Die around the back as well. Blade Mail or not, a roll of the dice gets him a lot of damage, and they're going to end up losing Universe. Fear's there with a return kill onto the Prophet, though, and he will go ahead and use his split, finally. AUI down to about half health. Does he have any help on the way? Doesn't appear so, as he's just going to end up dead. They end up going 2 for 2. Vino and Clock for Visage and Prophet. I would call that roughly a break-even. Did cost them, jeez. Look at this. The Storm aspect chasing him all the way back to the tier 3 and tossing him into the air just for the hell of it. But this whole time, Fata getting some much-needed levels, sitting right in the back pocket of Eternal Envy. And looks like he is going to go ahead and port back, though. And Fear with his clap down now for 90 seconds. I don't know that they're going to try. Yeah, certainly not now. Well, no. Here comes another TP. I don't think they're going to be able to save the tower. It's going to be close. Yeah, they're worried about this. Zai's going to be spotted up on the high ground. And he's going to be right-click down very easily, so that's one down immediately. Fear, in the meantime, at half health, has to just continue to run. Back here in mid, we can see there's going to be a nice sprout on RTZ, trying the TP out. Not going to make it. Damage too high. Universe next to be picked off. And this has been a whole lot of 1-by-1 from EG and C9. Capitalizing on it to the tune of a double kill for Eternal Envy's Lycan. Very quick Roshan about to come. And this is what I was talking about. It's actually not happening the way I anticipated, though. I thought C9 was going to be in fine shape once Envy really began to explode, but EG has just really been kind of spread out in a lot of these fights. They've been giving away a lot more than they should have.
I actually think, to be frank, they're just not expecting how much damage Envy can actually output.
Yeah.
So much damage. And he's going to have Necro 3 after that, too. And overall, I just think C9's draft is just better. Like, they have a lot more tools from early, mid, and to late. Late game, they have them just trumped. Like, Visage is going to be huge. I do think that Visage should have gone for, like, a 4-staff over this Medallion. I know it costs more than Medallion, but I think having a 4-staff against Clock and Brew is very, very good. And actually having a 4-staff against even the Death Prophet to just get away from the Ghost is very effective. I know that also Pilot Ice probably going to want to get an Ags, but 4-staff is really, really good this game. And it's unfortunate that they don't have the best carriers for it.
Oh, there's going to be a point-blank hook as they catch Pylite Die. Universe using that Blade Mail to his advantage. However, he's going to end up giving his life for a support. And that's definitely not worth the trade. They'll take an Ogre Magi for a Clockwork any day of the week. And I'm pretty sure they knew Envy was there. He was down farming bottom lane. So Universe rolling the dice and ends up giving himself up at bottom now. It's going to be EE with that fresh book 3, along with some help from the Visage. Where just look how quickly these towers melt.
Yeah, and if he gets a BKB too, if they initiate on him, they actually can't kill him at all. I don't think the ghosts from Death Prophet are going to be enough. I think he needs level 16 before they can really kill Envy. Especially with just so many minions around. I've talked about this. Like, the damage is going to get spread between Battery Assault, Witch Doctor Casks, Exorcism. It's just too much stuff in the fray.
Split on mid. Phaeton hooked up to the Earth Spirit. And Fear looking for nothing. We're going to see Phaeton come back down. He's set up on the high ground, but here comes Envy and the Wolves. And Phaeton could be in trouble, but the damage output from Envy, yeah, they're just going to get Fear. Fear's got to blink quick. Nope, doesn't matter. Lost his blink. Immediately, they're going to turn back around. There are the Visage Familiars and AUIs right on his tail. Very ineffective split, and Cloud9 is just taking everything EG's giving them and punishing them for it. It is really going in their favor, and even though it just says 11-9 at 20 minutes in, you can see this went from at the time, seemingly large 2,500 gold lead for EG, and has now turned back around to almost 5 digits in favor of Cloud9. And their team is just so prone to snowball with just a few items. And EG has to start winning fights soon.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's going to... I don't think you want to go late game against the C9's lineup. And, oh, I heard a hook right there. That's kind of weird.
Tough playing a Clock against that many summons.
It really is.
And they're just going to turn it around. PPD's right there. Doesn't even have his ult at level 8. There's going to be a long-range Soul Assumption. Does good damage. Universe being tracked down by a wolf. PPD trying to get out of the back of it. In the meantime, Phaeton has a leash on the Zai. He's going to die very quickly. And we see the Prophet TPN. And this is a fight that EG just had to run away from. And, yeah, I mean, like, the positioning and the choice of engagements for EG is just lacking. And I feel like C9 is just flat out outplaying them in every phase of this game.
I think outplay, yes, and I also think just outdraft. Like I mentioned, these minions are just too much for EG. Clock is just kind of useless, especially when BKBs come out. Oh my god, Clock is not going to do anything. The Brewmaster split seems kind of underwhelming. Man. Yeah, it doesn't seem like it does too much. And with all this farm on Envy, they can just chump the Pandas with the Medallion too. And then also, we didn't even talk about this, but Bloodlust in the whole mix. It's only level 1. Imagine what it's going to do when it's level 4.
Yep. Oh, yeah, and that's, that came down to something we were both talking about during the draft, is pretty much everyone. I mean, you have at least your two cores in Envy's, Lycan, and, of course, the Razor, that are going to want BKB sooner rather than later. You've got an Aegis on Phaeton right now. You get a couple of BKBs up, and then level 2, level 3, level 4 Bloodlust. I don't know. Like, I just don't know what in the world they're going to be able to do. And Arteezy, on the Death Prophet, usually so reliable, he has felt kind of meh. We were talking about the Brewmaster. They've really managed him well, but they've also managed Arteezy's ulti. I mean, he got a couple of kills early, but for the most part, he's not that pushing machine. He's not this unbelievable nuisance in these fights.
I just think it comes down to, I've said this like 50,000 times, but their damage is just spread too much. Like Exorcism needs a single target to really be truly effective, but you're never going to find that against, like I said, the Treants, the Lycan Wolves, the Necro Minions, just everything. Now there's an Ags up onto Owie. Ridiculous considering the horrible start he had. What I mean by transferring bottom and not really getting anything done. Arteezy getting pressured here by so much crap. He's pretty fast himself, though, and I think he will get away, so he at least has that high movement speed working for him.
Unable to track him down, but I mean, right there's an example. That was basically nothing but summons that were just on top of him and melting him down that quickly. He needs to tank up in a hurry. He's got his plate mail, and I'm sure he'll be moving up to a Shiva soon, which will be an excellent item against both the Lycan and the Razor in particular. But yeah, at the same time, like you said, I don't think C9 is going to sweat taking this game another 20 minutes at all. I think they're going to feel very confident in their ability to play late against this EG composition. And so what do you do if you're EG? Let's put you in the captain's chair, man. You have to make something happen, but you can't afford to lose any more fights. So you have to put yourself in a position to not even to be taking risks yet still be making gains.
Well, I think this Ags on Zai is actually going to play a humongous role in their fights. They need their supports to bring more to the table. Peter's not going to really bring much. He's only level 9, has absolutely no farm other than an Urn. But having Zai actually be able to pressure them with some extra damage, I think is going to be very, very important. He's very close to his Ags. He's going to ding level 11 here, and we'll have it another 100 gold. So I think that's pretty big, and just take the fights a lot slower, or take the whole game a lot slower. Like, yeah, I think C9's late game is much better, but it doesn't help just running at them when you know you can't win fights anyway. So just take smart engagements. Oh no, this is huge.
Bone 7. Oh, there's going to be Universe coming in, but Bone 7 was tossed in the air. Now he's caught and just being melted down by the familiars. He's going to end up dead to that. Arteezy has come in, though. We'll get a return kill. No, Universe actually did manage to survive. He did manage to outrun the birds at some point, and now Arteezy, though, caught by those birds. Beer's going to come in, hits a nice 3-man clap.
These pandas will die in a second.
Can he do the work on his own? Yeah, that's the thing. He has no support. And, yeah, that's a dead panda. And a Fed gem and a GG. As EG opened this game up, building a lead, and it was snatched away and never even thought about giving back by C9. Wonderful play from them here in Game 1. And that's got to be really disheartening. I mean, I feel like their draft had a few things going for it. But in terms of the mileage you have to get from those big ultimates, especially Panda, just not there for EG whatsoever.
Yeah, I don't say this much about EG, but I think that their draft was just way worse. Like, way worse than C9's. I thought C9's looked really strong from everything about it. Like, the synergy between the Lycan Howl and the Visage. The synergy between the Lycan Howl and even the Treants as well. Razor was honestly, it seems funny to say this, but I thought Razor was maybe the only weak point in the draft. Everything else looked really, really good. Envy got complete free farm. It actually looked like a very Eastern draft, to be honest. Like in games that we've seen with the Eastern Division and casting in the D2L, like Lycan, Visage, we've seen that a number of times. Priority to the Ogre Magi in the first 2 picks. We've seen that a lot. And I just think that they completely outdrafted him. I do think that, I agree with you, I think they outplayed them too, but I think the draft was the biggest portion of Cloud9's victory.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, it's hard to even pinpoint. It's not, 4-3 on Visage, not bad, but still 3 deaths. 3-3 on Bone 7, Razor 3-2, 1-2 on the Ogre. Envy going 3-0 is nice and all. But this was just a whole team effort. This wasn't like one hero or one player got way ahead on a snowball hero. It's just Envy farmed like a mother. And then went crazy while the rest of his team just did work across the map, made space. And more importantly, I feel like they really managed the 2 big abilities they had to fight around, which was Death Prophet's ulti and the split from Brew. I feel like they just did a great job kiting that out, making those feel ineffective. Just, even little things like the Plasma Field from Razor, putting Fierce Blink Dagger on cooldown, that a couple of times kept him from engaging into situations that he might have been effective. So just everything coming together and Cloud9 racking up a very impressive sub-25-minute win against this evil geniuses squad. I'm your host, Aaron AC Chambers. Thanks again for being a part of the broadcast, guys. Could be our last match of Western play for the day. We don't know. EG certainly has other things in mind. They'd like to force it to 3.